Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to talk about the top 6 picks for jobs that are at entry level in the information systems industry. I'm Dr. Jason Owen, aka the Hope Doctor, and I'm here to help you find success in the information systems world. Let's get to it. All the information systems YouTube channels are about what it is. I want to talk about what you can do with it in the real world. So you want to get into information systems? Great idea. Lots of money to be made, lots of opportunities out there because everything in the world right now is going more and more technical focused. It creates lots of opportunities. Myself, when I went into the information systems industry, I started looking for, hey, how do I do this? What do I want to do? What kind of degree do I need? What kind of certifications do I need? You know what I did? I went to Forbes magazine. I looked up the top 10 highest paying jobs in America. You know what they were? 7 of them, count them, 7, not 10, 7 of them were medically related, and 3 of them, count them, 3, were technical related, one of which was information systems. And that's what drove me towards this degree. So once I got into the field, I found that there's a couple of key areas that are easier to get started in than others. Being a project manager is a great opportunity within information systems, but it's something that might come a little later in your career. So let's talk about those top 6. Let's get started with number 1. Number 1, my best pick would be information systems manager. Now, an information systems manager handles a lot of different avenues within the technology world, and it depends on what niche market you're in as to how that role would play out. But ultimately, to be the manager of an information systems, it kind of depends on the infrastructure that's already in place at that business. See, I've worked in some businesses where the information systems manager was honestly a networking professional, excellent at their job. That's not really what information systems is traditionally designed for. I've been in other businesses where there was no information systems manager. It was all the CTO doing everything. So an information systems manager manages the processes of systems within a company, not just the technology. It's not just about the hardware or the software. It's about the processes that are in place and that are taking shape within the company. Now, the great news is somebody who's really had experience in this field and is growing and is in mid-career, and they're doing well, can earn in the high 6-figure range of salaries, but don't expect that coming out of the gate. A lot of jobs I've seen in the information systems world coming out of the gate start in that $60,000 range. I've even seen it as low as $40,000 to $50,000 depending on what part of the country you're in. So take a look at the area you're wanting to be in and the area you're wanting to work in, and then you can better determine using websites like Glassdoor.com or things like that to kind of dig into the salaries that might be achievable in that area. And just because Glassdoor or PayScale or whatever those websites that you want to use for finding out salaries are reporting a specific salary, doesn't always mean that's the case in your area, and it very much depends on the traditional area specific salaries, if that makes sense. Now, the second job that I want to talk about for an information systems professional coming out of college, just want to get started, entry level, software developer. But listen, working as a software developer is a whole nother beast in itself. Yes, you need to have coding skills, obviously. You need to be able to write in the modern languages, C# or Ruby on Rails or whatever. But something that'll make a difference too is knowing some of the older languages like C++ or something like that. Definitely need to know HTML, HTML5, CSS, and JavaScript because web-based applications are going to be front-end focused. So that could be a good starting point to get into the information systems industry. But looking at a software developer role, it's going to be, again, company specific. So I've designed software in EHR applications or electronic health records applications, and it was very, very specific to a unique niche market. Happened to be in the prisons market or the Department of Corrections. So things were a lot different than just your traditional doctor's office. Now, at the same time, I've also designed decision support systems in the accounting world for county clerks. So there's a lot of different opportunities in software development. If you want to be strictly in software development, that's information systems can definitely get you there. I've seen starting salaries from $40,000 to $60,000 at entry-level positions, but you're going to want to get some real-world experience. This will help your resume get you plugged into these entry-level positions, but also understand this. A lot of companies want to hire fresh out of college or no experience developers who have the education and have the skills because they can mold you into the type of developer that they want for their specific application, because everybody does it a little different. That's why one of the greatest skills for a software developer is the ability to learn quickly. Make sure you can demonstrate that in that interview, and you'll have a great shot at becoming a software developer. Now, the number 3 item I want to talk about, number 3 job, the next job on the list. All right, now the next job on the list, information security analyst. Let me tell you what, that can be a fun gig. Becoming a security analyst allows you the opportunity to get in and explore security breaches within companies. You can explore systems that are going on and how they're exposing the company to risk due to security issues. Cyber threats are a very real thing. One of the key things that I've done in my career is work on software that would protect medical systems from cryptolocker viruses. Those are fascinating things to be in, and you can get into that because you know what, there's not a lot of people that have that kind of mind. So if you like to solve puzzles, if you like to really dig in deep and get into the security side of software, then becoming an information security analyst may be the gig for you. Now, number 4 on my list would be database administrator, a DBA. Talk about confusing for me. I have a DBA, not I am a DBA. My doctorate's in business administration. Information systems is my cognate. My master's was in information systems. So I'm a DBA, a doctor of business administration. But a DBA is not the same thing as the doctorate. A database administrator, otherwise known as a DBA, is someone who manages all of the data for the company. Now, the entry into this role is not as difficult as you might think. You're going to want to very much focus on SQL, T-SQL, and dealing with database and data structures. This is going to be very important to you. So if you have some extra courses you might want to take in class, data structures is going to be critical if you're looking to go into the database administration field. In fact, my first internship, I worked for a database administrator designing a video game of all things, and had a lot of fun doing it, but it was cool that the database administrator was really the head honcho at the organization I was working with. Now, number 6, computer systems analyst at a major university. A systems analyst at a major university, there's so many information systems that are going on within a university, and the analyst is able to go in and look at all of the computer systems and make sure that they are optimal. We're looking for bottlenecks. We're looking for ways that they're getting overloaded. We're looking for things that are less than perfect, that we can improve the quality of service for the university. A computer systems analyst can definitely be something you can get into right out of the gate, but know this, the average median salary in any one of these jobs is higher than what you're likely going to start at. But that doesn't mean it won't be a decent starting wage. Here's a little side tip. Let me tell you this one. When you're interviewing for a job, you're going for work, they love to ask you how much you want to get paid. My answer is usually the same. It's negotiable. And the reason I say that is because I don't know what their salary expectations are. And to be quite frank with you, it's illegal to even ask what my past salaries were because it's irrelevant to the current job that I'm applying for. Question is, can I do the job I'm applying for? So as you're going into these jobs and as you're interviewing and you're starting to do it, don't be afraid to ask what you're worth. I know confidence for a lot of students coming out of college is a little lower than they would like it to be. So, but this one is one that you need to push a little bit and definitely ask for what you're worth. If you're not pulling that $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 range coming out of school, even getting started, you're probably cutting yourself a little short. But make sure you look at the area, look at where you're at. I could go to work for someone in Nashville, say Brentwood, right outside of Nashville. It's a beautiful area, and get 6 figures right out of the gate. However, the average rent for an apartment there is $3,000 to $4,000, so it's not as much as you would think. So that's why those salaries vary a little bit, and they jump up and down depending on where you're at in the country. So make sure you're considering that factor. Now, the number six, my last job on the list, web developer. Let me tell you what, information systems, I've done a lot of web development, just to be honest with you, as a side project. I do this as my side hustle, you know. Maybe you have a side hustle doing a few different things. I don't know, YouTube channels or whatever it is. But becoming a web developer is actually a pretty viable option for a lot of people coming out of the gate, and it gives you some entry-level coding experience, but you don't actually have to write fresh code from the beginning. There's a lot of tools out there. I'm a big Bluehost fan. I love Bluehost. In fact, I'm going to put a link in the description in this video. If you'd like to get some information on going to Bluehost, doing a WordPress site, and hosting it, you can get some really good stuff. I'll put the link in this description. Also, Wix. I'm a big fan of Wix. I've used it before. I've used it for several websites. In fact, I built my own website with Wix because it was just an easy tool to use. I could still go in and need to know that HTML coding skills and be able to do that and understand CSS helps me to design a much better website. Now, in doing that, there's a lot of small business out there that needs this service. You don't have to charge crazy money for it, but you can make good money for it. For example, I built a couple of different websites that took me a few days, less than a week's work, to really build out and do right and custom design, and might charge maybe $2,500 to get it done. Some websites, you might even make $2,500 or more or less, just depending on what the site needs, of course. Now, if the site needs a store or it needs more things like that, or they want to do digital downloading, of course, those features have to come into play. But the secret to all of this, depending on whatever field you go into, we've been talking about a lot of jobs here, and out of these 6 jobs, let me tell you the tip for information systems gurus that I recommend to my coaching clients. That is, make sure you understand what the customer is going to use the system for. The information system is useless if the user won't use it. Hey, listen, I'm Dr. Jason Owen, aka the Hope Doctor. If you like this video, click and subscribe and like and comment below. Let me know the kinds of topics in the information systems world that you would like to see more about.